I'm in this race to take away those tax breaks to companies that are shipping jobs overseas and put them in the pockets of hardworking Americans who deserve it. And I won't raise the minimum wage every 10 years. I'll raise it to keep pace with inflation so that American workers don't fall further behind. That's why I'm in it. I'm in it because I want to stop talking about the outrage of 47 million Americans without health care and actually start doing something about it. I expanded health care in Illinois by bringing Democrats and Republicans together, by taking on the insurance industry. And I put forth a plan for universal health care to cut the cost of health care more than any other candidate, any other proposal in this race. Here's the truth. If you can't afford health insurance right now, you will be able to afford it when I'm president. Anyone who tells you otherwise is more interested in scoring political points than actually solving the problem, and I'm in it because we've had enough of that. I want to actually provide health care to the American people. I'm running for president to make sure that every American child has the best education that we have to offer, from the day they're born to the day they graduate from college. And I won't just talk about how great teachers are. I want to reward them for their greatness by raising their salaries and giving them more support. That's why I'm running for president of the United States. I'm running for president because I'm sick and tired of Democrats thinking that the only way to look tough on national security is by talking and acting and voting like George Bush Republicans. When I'm this party's nominee, my opponent will not be able to say that I voted for the war in Iraq, or that I gave George Bush the benefit of the doubt on Iran, or that I supported Bush-Cheney policies of not talking to leaders we don't like. And he will not be able to say that I wavered on something as fundamental as whether or not it's okay for America to torture, because it's never okay. That's one of the reasons I'm running for president of the United States, to lift up our values and lift up our ideals and lift up our standards and lift up our traditions. That's why I'm running. As president, I will end this war in Iraq. We will have our troops home within 16 months. I'll close Guantanamo. I will restore habeas corpus. I will finish the fight against al-Qaeda, and I'll lead the world to combat the common threats of the 21st century: nuclear weapons and terrorism, climate change and poverty, genocide and disease. And I will send once more a message to those yearning faces beyond our shores that says, you matter to us. Your future is our future, and our moment is now. America, Democrats, our moment is now. Our moment is now. I don't want to spend 2008 refighting the same fights that we had in the 1990s. That's exactly what Mitt and Rudy want. That's their only hope of winning, is because they know that if this election is about health care or ending this war or making college affordable, then they will lose. They are counting on the same bitter partisanship and the same electoral map we've had for far too long. I believe I can transform that map. In my Senate race, I won some of the reddest, most Republican counties in Illinois. In 2006, when House and Senate candidates in states like Missouri and Nebraska and Tennessee and Virginia and Indiana needed someone to come to campaign for them, I was the one they called. And I'm attracting more independents. I'm attracting more independents and Republicans to our cause than anyone else in this campaign. It's because I believe we can build that new majority, not just to win, but also to govern, also to deliver on the promises that we've made, to actually get something done. I don't want to pit red America against blue America. I want to be the president of the United States of America. And that won't just be a Democratic victory, that will be an American victory. That's why I'm running for president. I'm not in this race to fulfill some long-held ambitions or because I believe it's somehow owed to me. I never expected to be here. I always knew this journey was improbable. I've never been on a journey that wasn't. I'm running in this race because of what Dr. King called the fierce urgency of now. Because I believe there's such a thing as being too late, and that hour is almost upon us. I don't want to wake up 4 years from now and find out that millions of Americans still lack health care because we wouldn't take on the insurance industry. I don't want to see that the oceans have risen a few more inches. The planet's reached a point of no return because we couldn't find a way to stop buying oil from dictators. I don't want to see more American lives put at risk because no one had the judgment or the courage to stand up against a misguided war before we sent our troops in to fight. I don't want to see homeless veterans on the streets. I don't want to send another generation of American children to failing schools. I don't want that future for my daughters. I don't want that future for your sons. I don't want that future for America. I am in this race for the same reason that I fought for jobs for the jobless and hope for the hopeless on the streets of Chicago. For the same reason I fought for justice and equality as a civil rights lawyer. For the same reason I fought for Illinois families for over a decade. Because I will never forget that the only reason I'm standing here today is because somebody, somewhere, stood up when it was risky. Stood up when it was hard. Stood up when it wasn't popular. And because that somebody stood up, a few more stood up. And then a few thousand stood up. And then a few million stood up. And standing up with courage and clear purpose, they somehow managed to change the world. That is why I'm running, Democrats, to give our children and our grandchildren the same chances somebody gave me. That's why I'm running, to keep the American dream alive for those who still hunger for opportunity and who still thirst for justice. And that's why I'm asking you to stand with me. That's why I'm asking you to vote for me. That's why I'm asking you to stop settling for what the cynics tell you you have to accept. In this election, at this moment, let's reach for what we know is possible. A nation healed, a world repaired, an America that believes again. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you.